50 new airline routes are launching this month. 3 of them could reshape how the entire industry thinks about where airplanes can profitably fly. January might seem like an odd month to launch new routes. Leisure demand collapses after the holidays. Business travel takes weeks to recover. Fuel costs typically spike with winter heating demand. So why are airlines betting billions on January launches? The answer reveals something profound about modern route economics. January gives airlines exactly what they need most: time. Time to work out operational kinks before summer peak season. Time to build load factors gradually. Time to establish frequency patterns that train the market to expect reliable service. According to Aviation Week Network, roughly 50 new scheduled services commenced this month across global markets. But buried in that number are 3 strategic plays that deserve your full attention. An Indian low-cost carrier is about to prove that a single-aisle jet can profitably connect 2 ancient civilizations across 3,000 miles of airspace. The aircraft they're using just changed everything we thought we knew about narrowbody range. A European flag carrier is gambling that beaches in northeastern Brazil can sustain year-round transatlantic service on an airplane half the size anyone expected. And in what might be the most strategically significant route launch of 2026, 2 Taiwanese carriers are racing each other to capture a market that didn't exist 5 years ago, driven by $165 billion flowing into the Arizona desert. Let's start with the aircraft, making all of this possible. Before we go deeper, if you find value in detailed aviation analysis like this, consider subscribing and hitting the bell. New route economics are reshaping the industry, and we're tracking every development. The Airbus A321XLR represents the most significant shift in commercial aviation economics since the original Boeing 757 proved narrowbodies could cross oceans. On paper, the numbers seem incremental. Maximum range of 4,700 nautical miles. Seating capacity between 180 and 220 depending on configuration. Cruise speed around Mach 0.78. But those specifications obscure a fundamental economic revolution happening beneath the wings. According to Airbus, the A321XLR delivers up to 30% lower fuel burn and carbon emissions per seat compared to previous generation aircraft on equivalent routes. That efficiency gap translates directly into route viability. Consider a hypothetical transatlantic route with modest demand, say 150 passengers per day each way. A Boeing 787-9 configured with around 300 seats needs to fill roughly half its cabin just to cover direct operating costs. Miss that threshold during shoulder seasons, and the route bleeds. Cash. The A321XLR, configured with around 190 seats, needs perhaps 120 passengers to hit the same economics. That 40% reduction in break-even load factor transforms marginal routes into sustainable ones. This is what aviation planners call thin long haul. City pairs with genuine demand that simply cannot support wide-body capacity year-round. IndiGo understood this opportunity before most competitors. They've ordered 70 A321XLRs, according to Aviation Week Network Fleet Discovery, one of the largest commitments to the type globally. Their Athens deployment this month isn't just a new route. It's proof of concept for an entirely different network architecture. We'll examine IndiGo's specific Athens strategy in detail shortly, including why they're launching just weeks before a Greek competitor deploys the exact same aircraft on the exact same route. But first, you need to understand something critical about the XLR's limitations. The A321XLR achieves its range through an 11,000-liter rear center tank permanently integrated into the fuselage. This addition comes with trade-offs. Cruise speed is typically Mach 0.78, compared to Mach 0.85 for the A350 and Boeing 787. On transatlantic routes, this translates to roughly 20 to 30 additional minutes of flight time westbound. Cabin width remains fundamentally narrow body, 18 inches at shoulder level compared to over 19 on wide body twins. For flights exceeding 6 hours, passenger comfort becomes a genuine competitive consideration. And then there's the lavatory situation. With typical configurations, seating around 170 in economy behind a small business cabin, passenger to lavatory ratios approach levels that test human endurance on 8-hour flights. One long-haul analyst summarized the dynamic this way: the A321XLR offers wide-body reach with narrow-body economics, but not wide-body comfort. What do you think about narrow-body transatlantic flights? Have you flown one yet? Drop your experience in the comments. I read every single one and often feature them in follow-up videos. On January 7th, 2026, in Airbus A321XLR bearing registration Victor Tango. November Lima Alpha touched down at Delhi Indira Gandhi International Airport. It was the first aircraft of its type ever delivered to an Indian carrier. What happened next will be remembered as one of Indian aviation's defining moments. India and Greece, two ancient civilizations with 5,000 years of cultural exchange, have never had direct air service. Not once. Travelers between Mumbai and Athens historically routed through Istanbul on Turkish Airlines, through Dubai on Emirates, through Doha on Qatar. Journey times routinely exceeded 12 hours, including connections. According to flight tracking data, IndiGo's A321XLR covers the 6,500 kilometers from Mumbai to Athens in approximately 6 hours and 30 minutes. From Delhi, the 7,200 kilometer routing takes roughly 7 hours and 30 minutes. That's a minimum of 4 to 6 hours saved by eliminating connections. For business travelers, it transforms Athens from a full-day journey into a manageable red-eye. IndiGo configured their A321XLRs with 195 seats. 12 occupy the front cabin in IndiGo stretch, the carrier's premium product offering 38 inches of pitch, adjustable headrests, and USB-C power outlets. The remaining 183 economy seats still represent density beyond what most Western passengers accept on flights exceeding 6 hours. Services launched January 23rd from Mumbai and January 24th from Delhi, each operating 3 times weekly for a total of 6 weekly India-Greece frequencies. According to the Economic Times, IndiGo is pricing the routes aggressively to establish market presence before competition arrives. And competition is absolutely arriving. Aegean Airlines, Greece's flag carrier and a Star Alliance member, announced a 321XLR service on the exact same routes. Athens to Delhi launches in March 2026, Athens to Mumbai in May. Here's where the competitive dynamic becomes fascinating. Aegean configured their A321XLRs with just 138 seats, dramatically fewer than IndiGo's 195. Why? Because they're offering 24 business class suites with full flat beds and direct aisle access. Same aircraft, same routes. Radically different strategies. IndiGo is betting that price-sensitive VFR traffic, visiting friends and relatives, dominates the India-Greece market. Aegean is betting that premium leisure travelers and business passengers will pay significantly more for lie flat beds on a 7-hour flight. Who wins this battle? The answer depends on something most aviation analysts overlook: the connecting traffic potential through Athens to Southern and Eastern Europe. We'll examine that calculation when we assess strategic winners and risks. But IndiGo's ambitions extend far beyond Greece. According to CEO Peter Elbers, the Athens launch validates a network architecture that could eventually connect India directly to Rome, Milan, Barcelona, and even deeper into Europe, all on narrow-body economics. IndiGo has 40 A321XLRs on firm order, with 9 deliveries expected in 2026 alone. After Athens beds in, expect subsequent deployments on existing routes to Istanbul and Denpasar to boost frequencies and improve economics. While IndiGo pushes east, Spain's flag carrier is pushing south and west with an equally bold bet. On January 19, Iberia launches Madrid to Fortaleza. the first direct connection between Spain and northeastern Brazil. Fortaleza is Brazil's fifth largest city, gateway to the country's stunning northeast coast. Roughly 2 million residents, beaches that rival anything in the Caribbean, and until now, accessible from Madrid only via connections through Sao Paulo or Lisbon. Iberia is betting that Spanish tourists and the Brazilian diaspora in Spain represent sufficient year-round demand for A321XLR service. Initial service operates 3 times weekly with 7-hour 50-minute westbound crossings. Frequency increases to 4 weekly in February. If performance warrants, expect further growth into summer. Iberia's A321XLRs carry 182 passengers in a 2-class configuration. 14 lie-flat business seats occupy the front cabin, with 168 economy seats behind. The business product mirrors what the airline offers on wide-body transatlantic service. Full DO and CO catering, Spanish wines, the works. This launch follows Iberia's December commencement of Madrid Recife service, another northeastern Brazilian market. Together, these routes represent a direct assault on TAP Air Portugal's dominance of the Spain-Brazil market. According to Iberia's Chief Commercial Officer, Maria Jesus Lopez Solas, the strategy reflects confidence that Brazil offers opportunities beyond Sao Paulo and Rio de Janeiro, the traditional wide-body markets. With the A321XLR, we can explore new routes, test acceptance, and gradually adapt supply to demand. That statement reveals something critical about modern network planning. Airlines no longer need to bet everything on routes succeeding immediately. The XLR's economics allow for patient market development. We'll return to why this matters for predicting which January launches survive long-term. If you've flown to Brazil or are planning to, I'd love to hear which routes matter most to you. Leave your thoughts below. Your input helps shape future coverage. Now to the route launch with the most profound implications for global aviation strategy. On January 15th, yesterday, Starlux Airlines touched down at Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport on the first ever non-stop flight from Asia to Arizona. Their Airbus A350-900 completed a 7,400-mile journey from Taipei, Taiyuan in approximately 15 hours. This wasn't supposed to happen. Not this fast. Not with this much competitive intensity. Just weeks earlier, on December 3rd, 2025, China Airlines inaugurated the exact same route, also with A350-900 equipment. 2 Taiwanese carriers racing to capture the same city pair simultaneously. Why Phoenix? Why Taiwan? And why now? The answer sits in the Arizona desert north of Phoenix, Taiwan's semiconductor manufacturing company's Arizona complex. TSMC announced in March 2025 an expansion of its U.S. investment to $165 billion, the largest foreign direct investment in American manufacturing history. 6 fabrication plants, 2 advanced packaging facilities, a major research and development center. 40,000 construction jobs over 4 years, tens of thousands of permanent high-tech positions. That investment is generating labor migration, executive travel, technical specialist movements, and supplier relationships that demand reliable air service. According to Sabre market intelligence data cited by Aviation Week, Phoenix Taiwan traffic reached approximately 67,000 passengers in 2024, averaging 92 travelers per day each way. With TSMC's expansion accelerating, that number could double within 3 years. But here's what makes this situation unprecedented. Taiwan's second largest Asian market from Phoenix, after India, now has 2 competing carriers from the same country operating simultaneously. How do both survive? The answer involves alliance strategy, connecting traffic, and something called fringe whoring that's reshaping global supply chains. Starlux CEO Glenn Chai framed the launch in explicitly strategic terms. The Phoenix route represents the carrier's 5th U.S. destination, after Los Angeles, San Francisco, Seattle, and Ontario, California, and its first in the American Southwest. China Airlines chairman Kao-Shing Huang made similar pronouncements, noting that Phoenix becomes the carrier's 7th North American hub and first in the Southwest region. Phoenix Mayor Kate Gallego captured the significance. Starlux was the first to commit to ending Phoenix being the only major American city without nonstop service to and from Asia. Phoenix, the 5th largest city in the United States, without nonstop Asia service until 6 weeks ago. That gap and its sudden elimination tells you everything about how semiconductor geopolitics are reshaping aviation networks. Let's assess which January launches are strategic winners and which face meaningful risks. IndiGo's Athens play benefits from Aegean's Star Alliance membership and extensive European connectivity. Passengers booking through Athens gain access to dozens of onward destinations across southern and eastern Europe. Markets poorly served by Gulf hub carriers. The risk: pure point-to-point demand between India and Greece is modest. According to Aviation A2Z, Delhi generated roughly 35,000 round-trip passengers to Athens annually. Mumbai, just 18,000. IndiGo needs connecting traffic to fill aircraft. Iberia's Brazil expansion benefits from XLR economics, allowing patient market development. If Fortaleza starts slow, 3 weekly service with 182 seats limits exposure. The aircraft can be redeployed quickly if demand disappoints. The risk: seasonality. Fortaleza's appeal is beaches and sun. European winter travelers might fill aircraft, but can service sustain through European summer when travelers go elsewhere? The Phoenix-Taipei market presents the most intriguing competitive dynamic. Starlux operates nonstop in both directions. China Airlines historically operated with a Los Angeles tech stop on the return routing, adding complexity and time. Both carriers offer premium products, but Starlux has built brand identity around luxury positioning. China Airlines' SkyTeam membership provides connecting feed from Delta's domestic network. Starlux's partnership with Alaska Airlines and its expected path toward One World provides alternative connectivity. Neither carrier has a decisive advantage. The winner may ultimately depend on which carrier Arizona's tech companies and TSMC suppliers choose for corporate travel contracts. That decision will be made in procurement offices, not at booking engines. Beyond these headline launches, January brings additional significant developments. Air China enters the Beijing-Abu Dhabi market on January 24th, becoming the sole scheduled carrier between the two capitals. Tuwei Air expands Korean LCC presence in Southeast Asia with new Busan-Hanoi service. Flyadeal establishes Medina as its 4th base with routes to Istanbul and domestic Saudi points. Each launch reflects specific market conditions and strategic imperatives, but collectively, they demonstrate an industry finally emerging from pandemic paralysis with aggressive network ambitions. January's launches set the stage for what promises to be the most significant year of network expansion since 2019. American Airlines deploys its A321XLR internationally for the first time in March, New York to Edinburgh. Delta launches Atlanta-Riyadh service. United adds Newark-Bari, Split, and Santiago de Compostela. The XLR order book tells the story. Iberia, Aer Lingus, American, United, Air Canada, JetBlue, Qantas, carriers across all major markets have committed to the type. According to Airbus, over 500 new city pairs become viable with XLR economics. Aer Lingus already demonstrated the model, connecting Dublin to Cleveland, Indianapolis, and Nashville. These routes would never support wide-body service. With the A321LR and XLR, they work. The A321XLR isn't just a new aircraft. It's a new way of thinking about where demand exists and how to serve it profitably. IndiGo connecting India to Greece. Iberia opening northeastern Brazil. Starlux bridging Arizona's semiconductor boom to Taiwan's manufacturing base. These aren't incremental schedule changes. They're strategic bets on the future of global connectivity. Which January launch do you think has the best chance of long-term success? IndiGo's Athens gamble, Iberia's Brazil expansion, or the Phoenix-Taipei semiconductor corridor? Vote in the poll above, and subscribe so you don't miss our follow-up analysis when load factor data starts coming in. If you found this analysis valuable, share it with someone who cares about aviation strategy. The more subscribers we reach, the deeper we can go on coverage like this. I'm genuinely grateful for every single viewer who takes the time to engage. Please check out our next video for more news about the aviation industry.